Coach, what does your lineup look like tonight?
Well, Stone is back, so that's good. It's real good. Smitty's fine to go. We'll go with Clayson. Wides is not ready. And we'll take McCormick out. Anderson's in, yes. Sorry. When he's here, he's in.
What's it say about him that he can play through this week?
Well, I think character you'll say for sure, but I think his ability to focus is quite impressive. I mean, it's easy to say, but to do, I've seen a lot of players that are good and focus in normal situations, but once you get to pressure situation is one thing, but then you get to those situations, that's a whole different level. And goalies are usually different in that sense. People say, "Oh, they're different." Yeah, but they're not different in every way. But usually their focus is something that's usually their strength. And in his case, he's displayed it on a few occasions now, and to see him come back and every time be able to focus, it's quite impressive.
One read into Chris Drieger's triple bingo is that Anderson may be here for a bit. Do you expect he might be here for a bit?
Right now, we are hoping he'll be here for a bit, yeah. But subject at any moment to have to. And Hammond it's getting better now, but he's not there yet. So we'll manage that. That's why Hammond a little closer than we thought. Condon here. It gives us some flexibility where when Andy has to go, he's free to go, and we want him to go. I mean, he needs to take care of that first and foremost.
Are top six guys on your team not scoring as much because of the system?
Well, first of all, top six guys have not always played. First, MacArthur is a top six guy, and he's not in the lineup. So that's replaced by a Zingle. And when Stone's not playing, it's replaced by a Pyatt. So those are fourth line guys that are going on those lines, and what we're asking obviously is those guys to help us have reliability. We're not asking them to have the high-end production. So that's one. Two, the main focus of this team since day one has been to drastically improve our defensive game, and that's exactly what the players have done. So, and it starts with a mindset, which we have. And we outchanced the opponent again last game. We had 20 chances. That's a lot of chances. Why we're not burying, it's hard to say. The guy hits the post, misses the net, probably picking corners too much because he hasn't scored in a little while. But to put the pressure on the Pyatt and the Zingle and those guys to be top six regular forwards that are going to produce as much as MacArthur and Stone, and Stone has missed the camp. So every player is different and every situation is different. What I like right now is that Turris and Hoffman have really displayed that defensively they can do the job in tight situations. So I was quite impressed. And the same with Boucher and Bobby. So I've shuffled the lines around, but I kept those pairs so that we have that continuity. But I've had many players with them, and we're asking our players to be reliable defensively, which if they bought into, which is very difficult to do in such little time. So I've been really impressed in that sense. So we want the same scoring chances and bury them, but we don't want to change our mindset because we would have a losing record right now if we would go back to the mindset that we want to get rid of. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, I meant
Yeah, but Stone, Hoff has got more scoring chances now than he did last year. So him is just buried, and he's done it the last 2 games, the 3 games. Stone is totally different. He's missed the camp, and that I've said it since the beginning. Takes a long time to get back. I won't name guys in the league last year, but some guys have been trying to catch up all year after that when you miss the camp. Camp is the worst time you can miss because the team goes from here to here, and they don't practice, so they go down. So to catch up, you don't catch up in a month. It takes a long time. So it's too bad he's missed now because he was starting to get his groove back. So, yeah, he needs more time. I like the way he competes now. I like the way he was starting to move his legs, which wasn't there at the beginning, which is normal. But to go from that and ask him to be the high-producing Stone is unrealistic. It would be unfair for me to ask that. So in the meantime, he's been doing everything we've asked and following the process. So for me, it's how the players have been able to cope with what we've had is what I'm really impressed by. Finding ways to win while improving the one thing we wanted to improve. Shots against, scoring chances against. I think we're 12th now for shots against now. We go from the bottom of the league to 12th in just what date are we today? The 5th. So that's not bad in less than a month. So we want to keep moving that way.
Coach, on a night like tonight, is challenging the emotion your team's biggest challenge, do you think? Channeling the emotions, rather?
No. I think we've had probably up to now. The Edmonton game was the biggest one. That's clear. Every game poses us challenges. I think that today the big thing is it's a divisional rival. Definitely a team that we rival with for making playoffs. They've been a big physical team. We've played some physical teams, but I would say probably this one is probably the one that on video has displayed the most physicality, I would say. So in that sense, it'll be a grinding game tonight, absolutely. They haven't given it a lot lately. The goaltender has been great, and I'm sure I've heard he's been doing pretty good when he comes back here. So those are the challenges, I would say. But again, it goes back to us. I think we got to continue improving that mindset of giving the least possible. And the only thing is we want to bury the chances that we're getting. Breakaways, Pajot and all that. So it's great the guys get those breakaways. Smitty alone against the goaltender. I mean, those are the things you look after. You wish you put it in because then it's a 2-3 goal game that makes it a little less stressing by the end of the game. But at the same time, it's been giving us the opportunity to learn how to, first of all, not beat ourselves in tight moments. And I think last year that's one thing that came back. I've been asked, last year 1-goal games were difficult to win. And that's also been something that we've been talking about and how to win those, and the guys have been doing a job.
What can you do about that? About the tight moments, 1-goal games? Like, what is it that you kind of...
Well, the biggest thing that happens, and it's not just about here, it's anywhere else, is whenever there's a tight game, there's more pressure. And under pressure, you either revert back to what you're used to doing, or you panic, and then you start throwing pucks away, start making the extra play that's going to create a turnover. The other team is gone. So most of the time what happens is you beat yourself. And, a guy like Kelly, for instance, has been in a winning situation with Boston, and you can hear him talk all the time about can't beat ourselves. And, I've been on championship teams, and it's the same. The teams that are championship teams learn not to beat themselves. So the other team has to beat them. So that will win you a lot of games. And that's what we're seeing from our team right now, is that a lot less turnovers, a lot less giveaways, a lot less trying to make plays when there's 2-3 guys from the opposing team on the blue line. So the guys are really doing a good job and maturing in that sense. Quite impressive that way. So you could see the other team push at the end, obviously, when there's a 1-goal game, and that's where we see our guys having the right mindset. And that's what we got to continue doing. But it's managing the pressure, managing the stress in a way that you stick to what you're supposed to do, either because you're trailing by 1 or because you're leading by 1. But it's hard to stick to what you do because then you get excited, you get going. It's like the guys at the end of the game. Sometimes you see guys trying to do it all when you're trailing by 1. It's not because they're selfish. It's because under pressure, human beings have a narrower focus and a narrower vision. So they tend to not see around themselves. So you need to talk about vision, open up the way they see the game, and so those are little things that we try to manage. But the players have been very good at responding and wanting to not beat ourselves first of all, and then after that we just we finish the game strong instead of being on our heels. Even though the other team is pushing, we're hard on pucks, we're first on pucks, we finish checks, and we make sure we have a forward game instead of peeling back.